Our next programming project is Laboratory Exercise M12, which is simply to develop an assembly program that is capable of invoking C standard library functions. And what we're going to try is to call length of the string and also call string copy, which copies n characters from the source into the destination. So I suggest that you download the prototype of this project, which I'm going to develop right now in Visual Studio. So my first step is to start with project creation. I'm going to create a brand new project. And as before, this is going to be an empty project, C++ empty project. That's always important to just keep it absolutely simple. And I'm going to use the same location I've used before. Specify it as my location for the project, and I'm going to name it M12, which would be corresponding to this zip file when I archive this. Let's go to View, Solution Explorer, and Source Files. Let's add a new item, and let's create a C++ file, which would be a prototype that we can work off right here using these standard library calls. Let's just name this main.cpp and add source for the subfolder for location of the file, and this is a .cpp file. Okay, so the first step is to let's take a quick look at documentation for string copy. So right here, string copy is a function that basically is going to take three arguments: destination, source, and the number of characters to copy. So you can read the rest of this documentation right here. Let me copy this URL if you'd like this web page to, and there's also a sample right here. But let's just use something very simple, absolutely minimalistic version of this program that would be using string copy and strlen. Okay, so let's start with this, and this is our main file. So right now, I'll just say that we've used this documentation, and this is going to be what we need from string copy. Here is the header file. This is, of course, the header file that we need to include to be able to access this function. Just going to type include the header file. Of course, if I used C compiler, the type of include I would use is string.h. But because this is by default configured as C++ configuration, the standard practice to include C standard library headers in C++ is just use the same name as the C header name, but prefix it with C, and there is no extension at all. So I'm just going to do this. Okay, and all I need is just my little main function with a return statement, and also we can start by defining a source. So I can just hard code this, something that we can store. Our source can be stored in a constant memory segment, and then we can try to call length, so it should be an int, and we can call int strlen, right, and measure it as the string source. Okay, so pretty simple. So this should give us the length of the string, and then we can call string copy and copy this source into some destination, and this will be our source, and this will be the length of the string that we want to copy. And typically I would just use strlen of the source right here, but I just want to split this into separate parts so that it's easier to disassemble this program without too much combination of function calls at the time when parameters for string copy are specified. Although it really wouldn't make much difference, but still it's just easier to see the source line and the disassembly code that is associated with it. So let's also define a destination, and of course we need an array of characters, just arbitrarily, I don't know, 80 characters. It really doesn't matter, just want to have enough space there. So I can also try to initialize it to all zeros. Okay, and fine, let's try building this code, this program, this code. And so this this compiler here that we have complains that the function or variable may be unsafe, and it reports string copy as unsafe operation. I'm going to ignore it by using what they suggest here. To copy this, please make sure that you don't include any spaces around this, but just copy this directly from the error message. What we need to do is go to notice that we're building x86 platform and debug platform. So now we're going to jump to project properties, and in these project properties what we're going to where we're going to specify the secure no warnings is preprocessor right here, and it says it has different versions for all configurations. So what we're about to do here, preprocessor definitions, is just needs this definition to shut down these security warnings. So we're just going to click this little, those are strange dialog boxes here, so just follow the steps, down arrow and say edit, and this little dialog opens. I don't know, you can actually resize it to make it more usable. And here just insert blank line and copy and paste here this CRT secure no warnings. I just suggest that you avoid using extra spaces around these things, because it's just easy to copy them, but sometimes these project settings break with extra spaces around different options. So I'm going to click OK with this preprocessor definition. So this was configuration properties, C++ preprocessor, and we specified this thing to shut down the security warning. Okay, and so it gets added to the list. We're going to click apply and OK, and this time hopefully we'll be able to build the program. And so let's step over the lines of code in debugging session. So debug, the same approach, step into. Okay, so I still have my registers window. I'm just going to close this, and we can start by pressing F10. Okay, so F10. Of course, you may be wondering, this is just a variable declaration, but why debugger stopping here? The reason it's stopping here because it needs to copy these characters into the source. So there is some work involved. So I'm just going to press F10, and destination is 80 characters, and then we're going to get string length. And if you want to find out what string length is, you can always go to debug windows and show automatic display of variables or locals. So in locals you can see that this is 5. So this string is 5 characters, and of course it also has 0 terminating character appended to the string. So we're just going to use whatever the string length is at this stage, and now we can step over the destination. So let's take a look at destination. Actually, its address is displayed right here. Okay, so but I think it will be easier for me to get it from the immediate window rather than struggle with these grids of display. So I'm just going to go to immediate window and the question mark destination. So actually you see that this displays the entire array of characters, and first it prints the address. So I just need this. Okay, so this is my address, so I'm going to jump to memory view. Again, just copy and paste the hexadecimal address, paste this into here, and of course it's all zeros, so from here there should be 80 characters somewhere, right? We're just about to step over this portion of the program that's supposed to copy hello over to this memory right here that belongs to the beginning of the destination array of 80 characters. So I'm just going to press F10 to step over, and you can see that these are our characters, and in the text display you can see text hello.